There is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And today, that voice is theirs because we've got two great guests. But first, Rochelle, how are you today? It's so nice to see you again.
I'm so good, Kevin. I had extra strong coffee and my allergies are dried up. So I don't know how I'm holding still because of how excited I am for the show. And would you like to introduce them or shall I?
You shall.
Okay, we have the accreative.com here with us and the owners of amazing things, Amoura and Avery Carter. Thank you so much for being here. Go visit their website, as I said, accreativecollective.com. And I love that it says right off the bat, delivers measurable growth. I think if there's one thing people could ask for with anything in their life, it's measurable growth, because that matters. So thank you both for being here. And how are you today?
Doing good. We're glad to be here.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Of course.
I got to ask you, first of all, your parents like the letter A, don't they?
Obviously. Well, Avery's name is actually a family name, so that's a little different.
Yeah.
And your name, which is Amoura, right? Amoura?
Amoura.
Amoura. And where did that come from?
Well, so my dad spoke a bit of French, like Amoura, and they wanted it to be more of a name instead of a word, and so Amoura.
Oh, very good. And you're the senior member of this little clan, right?
That's right. I don't have a problem saying that. Yep.
It just means that you're just a little bit more experienced than
a little wiser. I'm gonna take that.
And which is why you're the CEO, and then Avery is the creative director.
Yes.
And together you've obviously been sisters for a few years now. You must get along well.
We do.
In our personal life and in business. It's funny, every time we tell people that we work together, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I could never work with a sibling.
Yeah.
Especially a sister. I could never work with my sister. Literally everyone says that. So
do you actually hang out together outside of work in your families and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Just
How weird.
makes it so much easier though, because we live really close to each other, so we can work together, collaborate, have dinner, lunch, Yeah.
She was just over here for dinner and we watched one of the Marvel movies. We're like going through all of them. So.
Love it.
Well, I was the youngest of three and Rochelle was an only child, so we don't understand any of that.
No, but I'd have to say, what a blessing though, because you guys have grown up, your past, what each other has gone through, how to respect and understand when you may not meet in the middle. And maybe it makes it easier in a way to work through those things. Because let me tell you something, if I had a sister and I were to meet her, I don't think we get along. So
that is one thing
that's gotta be a beautiful experience.
Yeah, I think it's really, like Avery said, it's really helped us. Since you're working with family, you go to every disagreement or every conversation with respect,
Exactly.
and understanding and empathy because they're your family. So you have a different relationship if you're just going to your job with someone you don't really know. You may treat them a little differently, but I don't want to disrespect my sister or have her, leaving a conversation feeling very upset or unheard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to squeeze her.
Yeah. Well, there's an added interesting part where we both know our business goals, but also personal goals. I know how she wants to grow in her family and, different things, the 5-year plan, personally and business wise. So that kind of adds a added layer on how we work together and making things work seamlessly in terms of the direction we want to go in together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how does it work that you guys have complementary experience? I'll give you an example. I'm one of three. My oldest sister worked for Nordstrom in the back office in a cubicle. My brother was a roofer, and I was a restaurateur. So we couldn't have even worked together had we wanted to. How did you guys come up with the same kind of experiences that blend so well together to form a company?
I mean, that's a really good question. I do think Avery has always been an artist, though. I will say, I remember like growing up, she was always drawing. So that's always been there. And I've had a lot of different experiences with education and project management. But I really enjoyed movies and the arts. I'm just not necessarily an artist, but I've enjoyed them. And so like my degree was in English and a concentration in film and media. So I've always had that for that type of field, and Avery has the technical skills of that.
Yes. And I think it kind of just worked out over the years where we kind of found ourselves in the same type of position where we wanted to expand, do something that we had more ownership over, creative ownership. And then that's when we kind of aligned and noticed that our skill sets were a lot more similar than we initially thought. And we worked on some projects initially together, some client work that you already had, and was like, oh, well, I kind of like lock in to what you were kind of building already. So how about we take it even further and build like a marketing outfit?
And that's really cool that you guys had that same, because you've got the background, Amoura, and Avery, you've been in nonprofits and you've done a lot of things over the last 10 years involved in fundraising and doing stuff and creativity and all that kind of stuff. So it works out really well. Who's the boss? Never mind. I want you to go.
I will say we're the boss of our sections, right?
Okay.
So
I
I run more day to day, and she runs all of the creative work. And so we do have some other team members, and so she's over anything that's creative. Whether that's social media management, any campaigns. And I'm making sure that stuff is actually getting done and invoices are being paid and the things that aren't very fun.
So, Avery, you have a lot more fun than your sister does. I can get the impression.
I mean, I do have to say she has great vision, great intuition. So I wouldn't count her creativity out. But yeah, like we've recently hired on some consultants that we work with to do social media management and graphic design. So I'm kind of like in the weeds of a lot of that, which is really fun. We have quite a few different brands, a psychiatrist, museum, nonprofit. So just depending on the day, working on totally different creative. So it stays interesting for sure.
I can only bet. Rochelle?
Yeah, I'm thinking about how like people say, oh, well, you know, opposites attract type of thing. There's black and there's white, and some people will look at this perspective, they'll look at that perspective, and then there's the people in the gray where they meet in the middle. And you guys get to kind of run that gray area. So what has it been like learning through each other and bringing those aspects to each other? Because it's not always easy to try to mesh with somebody when it comes to business. And you guys figured that out in your personal life. But what was like in the first conversation you had and said, hey, wait, we're in the same spot and we can help each other and we can have an amazing impact if we do this together. The the experience of bonding that together, like,
Mhm.
is it just always consistent learning between the two of you?
It for sure is. And a lot of trust. I
Yeah.
kind of think we went out on a whim. And it was
Mhm.
like, I
Mhm.
kind of trust your experience and
Yeah.
that we can kind of like figure it out along the way. We have
Mhm.
like a good foundation, a good idea of where we want to go.
Yeah.
Um, and let's go for it kind of thing.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Okay. Then where is it that you want to go?
We want to scale.
Hmm.
So right now we're primarily working with small to medium sized organizations, and like Avery mentioned earlier, a wide variety of companies, usually in the wellness space. But we've worked with many types of companies, but usually small to medium sized. So we want to move up, right? So maybe medium to large. So we keep wanting to move up to larger and larger companies, larger contracts. Definitely
Well,
so.
and maybe over time, the little to medium company, because of the hard work that you're doing, can become the medium to larger company. That would
That's
be that
right.
would be cool too.
That's
Yeah.
right. That is
Especially
the
from two
goal.
females that are learning to understand each other, respect each other, and then be also very professional with each other, you know?
Mhm.
I understand your business and your personal goals, and you understand mine, but we respect it, and we're
Mhm.
gonna come together to figure out how we're gonna make that happen. I mean, I bet you guys have, like, a ton of fun figuring out all these things, and we're gonna try this, and we're gonna do that, but, working together, have you seen that it has gotten you a lot further than you were going in your personal lives by bonding that?
Hmm.
I definitely think so. When we first, so actually before we started working together, I was in Charlotte and she was in Atlanta. And so
Oh,
I
cool.
still saw her, but we
Yeah.
definitely didn't see each other this much.
Yeah.
And then she moved to South Carolina, which was a bit closer. But it
Mhm.
wasn't until like we started working together full time and she moved to Charlotte. I see her a few times a week in
Hmm.
person. So not
Yeah.
just like having Zoom calls in person. My children are always so excited when someone opens the door without
She's
ringing the
coming.
doorbell. It's like, is it Avery? So it's so nice to have just someone a family member in your life that you can spend so much time with. Your
Mhm.
kids can bond with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I
You're
think,
best friends.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I think professionally as well, there's been a lot of growth. I feel like supported so much, so then I feel more open to explore and speak my mind and kind of take a leading position on where I think we should go creatively with our clients and that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
there's been a lot more opportunity to explore with just learning new things around marketing and design. Yeah, being a lot more creative.
And you mentioned something earlier about, two women working together. So 90% of the people that we work with, all of our contractors are women. And so that is something
Mhm.
that we're really um, interested in continuing, where we're uplifting other women creatives.
Yeah.
It's really important to us.
Yeah.
That's really cool because aren't there a lot of companies that kind of bury some of the creative people that happen to be female and they don't get the opportunities that others do?
And I don't necessarily believe that it's just creatives. I mean, just women in general, you know.
Yeah.
And I do think
No, that can't be true. No, I'm kidding. And
and we hope that we're giving a level of understanding. Like I told this on another podcast we were on. There was a woman that we work with who wanted to go see her son. Like she's divorced and he had been gone for 2 weeks over the summer, and she just wanted to go see him. And it was like it was no reason to lie about it. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
I've been doing my work. I'm just gonna go see my son for a day or
Yep.
two. And it's like, yes, of course, I understand that.
Mhm.
Go
Yep.
ahead. So I think, working with women and having that understanding about how life ebbs and flows,
Mhm.
Yeah.
especially
Rather
when you
than
have
clashing it and making them
Mhm.
feel challenged.
Right.
Because as women, we experience that, not just with men,
Mhm.
but with other women.
Mhm.
Because we learn to do that with each other because whoever the winner is gets to usually stay in
Mhm.
some sort of situation. Not
Mhm.
only have you bonded that with other people, but with each other. having just respect in general as a woman is huge, not just in business, but in personal relationships. And you guys are able to share that with other people, let alone teach them from example. That is what is beautiful. You don't have to say a damn thing. You just have to be Amoura and Avery. And people are like, man, that's a real woman. I want to work with her. I respect her. I want to follow that path. And I want to feel and be entwined with everything that she's doing. So we need to take our first break. We are talking with Amoura and Avery Carter. Go visit their website, but don't miss the break, at azcreativecollective.com. And we will be right back. And I'm going to let Kevin answer or ask all the questions because I know he's just got them stacked.
And we'll be right back, everybody. And I got to think up some questions I got to tell you. I don't know. We'll be right back, everybody. Love, war, and freedom collide in the Girl of Many Crowns. Judith of Francia's story will take you from the heart of royal courts to the chaos of Viking invasions. It's a tale of resilience and courage that proves history is not just written by kings, but by women who dared to choose their own path. The Girl of Many Crowns is available now on Amazon Books, Kindle, Amazon Audiobooks, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Book Baby Bookshop. Don't just read history, experience it. Order your copy today. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald, and over there is Rochelle, and we got a great pair of guests today. They're sisters. They are business associates. They have a company, and it's a marketing company. Amoura, how did you get in? You were first, and then you unceremoniously drug your sister into this. Oh, come on, Avery. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. You'll like it, really.
I mean, I hope she feels like it's great because now I'm like nervous. She didn't say anything.
Well, and so, but marketing and building, helping companies build companies and build their platform and their program and their branding and all of that stuff. That's a lot. And, marketing really for most companies isn't very well defined. When you say, oh, yeah, we need to do some marketing. Okay, what are you going to do? I don't know. We're going to market. What?
That is something that, so first I'll go back. When I started AC Creative Collective, it was really a project management company. And I saw over time through the work that we've done, I got a few contracts where I needed to do a bit of more marketing work, a part of the contract. And so I brought Avery on. I was like, oh, this is really great. And we work well together. Let's add marketing. So we're actually a marketing and learning and development company because we feel like marketing is, external branding for your company, but learning and development is internal marketing, basically internal communication. So you really need both of them for a successful company. So we offer both. I think we do all of those tangible things really well. So like branding, design, social media management, writing. We do a lot of writing, ghostwriting. But we can do strategy. One of the best things about us is that we've added strategy with creativity to create AC Creative Collective. And we put that in our marketing and learning and development work. We do, like when we create a plan for someone, there's a lot of strategy in it. So then it isn't just this woozy goozy like marketing work. And what does that mean? It's like, no, there's a plan laid out in a timeline of what we want to do to get certain results.
Wait, if in order to market anything, oh, by the way, first of all, was there a dog that was just itching itself in the background?
Yeah, I have a dog here. Yes, Coco.
And you may think I'm psychic, but I'm not. I heard him scratching, but what kind of dog is it? We love talking about dogs.
Miniature poodle. I've been feeding her treats, so she stays quiet.
So she's a fat little poodle, or no, whatever it is. What is it again?
She's happy.
A miniature poodle.
She's happy.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get back, Kevin, get back on track. Get back on track. Okay.
No, we are
So,
talking about Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Yeah.
well, it is, and that's the thing about having a company that you can run from your home is you get to have the dog and you get to say if the dog gets to be there or not.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I
It's
love
a
What a
much better,
blessing.
little
yeah.
office buddy. Yes.
And I think,
Yeah.
well, for me, and Avery too, that was one of the perks of starting a company together so we can control our time.
Mhm.
Sometimes I stop working at 3 o'clock. And so I have a little time. I go get my kids. And then once they're asleep, I start working again. And it's just being able to have that convenience is really nice.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Being able to work out of your home and I've done it for a long time. The Western sales, no, what did I call it? The Western the Western Regional Office for Simmons Foods, which is a poultry company. It was the fourth bedroom of my house for like 6 years. And Rochelle, did I say that wrong, or you had a real strange
No,
look on your face?
no, I mean, the way you worded it was very interesting. I think that maybe you just had live chickens in a room in your house.
No,
But I
the
mean, whatever
chickens.
works for you, right? Because you earned that freedom. You earned that through what you did.
Well, the chickens stayed in Arkansas. That's where
Good.
my job was to sell after they were like I don't know, dead.
Bye-bye.
My job was to sell. Bye bye. My job was to sell them there, and so I had to do all that kind of stuff. And but I got to work out of my home. It is great fun to be able to work out of your home and be able to work with companies to help them help themselves, because most of these people started out as entrepreneurs, didn't they?
Mhm.
When you start out as an entrepreneur, you know the product, you know the widget that you want to create, you know the idea, but nobody's perfect at everything. And so it's really important for you to surround yourself with people and other companies that can help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. Is that a fair explanation of what you guys do for people?
For sure. Because I think, like you were saying, marketing is such a big word and it's so overwhelming for people to say, okay, I know I need to be more serious about my messaging, what platforms I'm on, how I'm communicating with my audience, but where do I start? So to bring in someone to help guide that process and start, like what Moore was saying, start with strategy from the very beginning. One plan isn't the same as the other plan. One company isn't the same as another. Everyone has a unique value proposition, unique audience, and we're here as the experts to help you find that and to fine tune that. If you already have some of a understanding or a foundation in that, well, how do we take it further for you?
And a lot of people are spending so much time doing marketing, like 5 to 10 hours a week, especially if they're doing it well. If you're being consistent and it's creative and interesting, they're spending a lot of time away from their business doing marketing, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, and you need to be concentrating on your core business in order to make that work. Speaking of which, we've got an expert marketer that is a regular contributor to the show, and Rochelle and this gentleman is in Kenya. And I looked it up because I finally got interested in it. Rochelle, he is 10 hours ahead of us.
I know.
So he's watching this show. It's and it is just about midnight there,
Oh my goodness.
but he's got a room full of people, and so go ahead, Rochelle.
Yes, Samuel says, greetings, brother Kevin and sister Rochelle receives greetings from Kibera slums in Nairobi, Kenya. Say hello to our guest, Amoura and Avery Carter. We are watching you live from Kibera slums in Nairobi. This is our favorite program. Kibera is tuned in. And yes, I'm so amazed. Like the work that you're doing and the work that Samuel is doing, we may be in completely different places in the world, We both understand the same purpose. If we help ourselves and we help each other as a collective, we help the world. And Samuel is doing that. He feeds 350 kids every Saturday. And now any of them that come throughout the week that need food, he provides that for them as well. And he has now officially hired a team to help him take care of these kids by feeding them, and also just started an education program that is super impactful. He is a part of our world and we love him. And there's so much learning. I mean, from all of us. It doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing or why. You can take a little bit and learn from that. And you guys have probably learned like an insane amount from each other. All these different perspectives and all these different emotions and thoughts and things that come in. Has there been a specific thing that was just like, as you were going through making it work together and combining it all and seeing how much you benefited each other, was there like something specific you were working on and it was just like amazing to do because you were like, oh my gosh, we're not only helping ourselves and each other, but we're creating a difference in the world?
What are you thinking about? Because I'm thinking about how we work with, like I was saying earlier, how we work with so many other women.
I mean, definitely from the very beginning, a big part of me wanting to work with my sister, but also just in general, being able to have your own company and your own vision and mission and like the purpose for why you want to go into business was heavy on employing other women if we ever built up the company to that level. And then also being able to help other women entrepreneurs who are in the same boat that we are in and who also have a vision and who also want to scale. So we have been able to do that. And we work with 2 other women on our team. So that's been like a great addition.
But they're the most consistent ones. But over the past 3 years, we've worked with 7 to 10 other women who had like side hustles, basically. And we're able to give them work, right? To hopefully extend their business, scale it, to at some point be able to quit their full-time job and do what they love doing.
So I got to ask you, because I'm also an entrepreneur and I have this small little company, you see, and I'm trying to grow it and scale it and market it and all that kind of stuff. And so I had to make a decision a little while back. Well, do I grow slow and just do what I can do, or do I take a risk and add a team and be more consistent with our offering and what we are doing, and have to, I don't know, like pay them? And so, so then there's this pull and push, which is, do I pay them first and then we go get the business, or do I get the business and then pay them? And I can't execute the business because I don't have the people. And then, you know what I mean? You get it. You know exactly.
Strategic risk, right?
Yes.
So if you have, like say, if you have a plan and it is business to business. So if you have the funds, right, to sustain you for a while, I wouldn't say to someone, if you're in debt, to just go out on a limb and start a company. But if you have some funds, you have a strategic plan, you know where you want to go, and you feel very confident in your product and the people that you're employing, I call that a strategic risk. And yes, you should do it. If not, then maybe you take a little time to build. There's nothing wrong with building slowly.
It's true.
Yeah, but I want it now. Like Michelle will say, I don't care, I want it now.
Yeah, well, I think for all of us, especially as women, we just want to understand things. If you just tell me exactly what I need to know, I know how to plan for these things. And that's where I think what you guys do is so special, because women are emotional. I hate to break it to you, but you get to just choose one that's more or less expensive or complicated. I don't know, but we're built that way, but we benefit in that way. And so if we know our purpose and we know where we want to go, and we have people like you to help guide us to that point, which is what I want to talk about when we come back from this break, is exactly how you're doing that. How are you helping people? What kind of results are you seeing through the experiences you've learned to provide that? So I'd love to do that. And Kevin, you can take us to break.
But first, their website, please.
Yes, the website, accreativecollective.com. Go and check that out. They talk about helping businesses clarify your voice, attract high value clients, and grow with full service marketing systems designed for ROI, which I think is highly important. I'd hate to break it to you. So stay tuned with us and we'll be right back.
Well, I don't want to, start an argument, but AC, who is the A?
Oh, we're both the A.
I mean, come on now. Amoura Avery Carter.
You can call us AC squared.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. We will be right back in a minute and 10. Don't anybody go anywhere.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. In a dark room, a single candle was lit. That tiny flame chased away the shadows, filling the space with hope. Your courage, your kindness, and your light may seem small at times, but it can change someone's entire world. Never underestimate the power you already carry inside. Even the smallest flame can ignite a fire that transforms lives. You are listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope come alive. And welcome back to Positive Talk. We've got a great show going for you today, a couple of great guests, and we're talking about marketing and business and all that kind of good stuff. And I gotta tell you, I love what you guys are doing with the overall package, and you're helping small businesses because they don't have access to the type of people that and things that they need to get it done. So they can hire you, and you can help them out and can grow, and you can grow together. You've got a bunch of clients now, which is great.
Yeah, that is, a really large goal of ours is when we first started was to work with small business entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. We like to think of ourselves as experts, but at the price range of a small business. So we really feel like that we're giving them a deal with what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's perfect. Who, when you go do a sales call to go talk to somebody new, who does that? Is that you, Amoura?
It is. Yep. I schedule all the meetings, have all of them. I bring Avery in for a good amount of them, but yes.
Oh, very, very good. And that's helpful. Rochelle, any thoughts?
So when you're working with these women, understanding it as a woman and what is possible for you, but also finding what's meant for you, where do you start with when people come to you? Do you give them certain tips, or do you maybe ask them a few questions and let them figure it out on their own?
We definitely start with a company audit. So we get to know their brand, where they're at right now, what their goal is for the next year, their goal for growth, the entire rundown, who their competitors are. And so we start with a lot of research and understanding that company. And then we kind of go to, okay, who are you speaking to? Who's your target audience? Because that will lead us directly to language that we want to use and platforms we want to put you on. The type of website and usability of the website that needs to be there is all determined by that. So we start from very foundational, consistent, spaces, and then build up larger and become more strategic and aligned based on who you are as a company.
And that's how we're able to see that growth in the companies, because it's not just one cookie cutter model that may work but may not work because you're not reaching the correct people. We want to make sure that we're reaching your ideal audience.
Yeah, building a relationship. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
What do you do when you run into, and I don't know if this has happened to you yet, but if it hasn't, it will. You run into an entrepreneur that says, I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is I make the best damn chocolate chip cookie in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, and that's what I want to sell. But I don't know how to go about doing that. I don't have no idea who my target audience is or any of that other mumbo jumbo you just said. So how do you educate them to figure that all out?
For sure. Because so you probably do make the best cookies in the world, but do you have distribution to sell to the world? Maybe not if like you're starting off immediately. So then that kind of leads us to thinking, okay, you want to sell in your immediate area or at the farmers market or the southeast, the northeast or something like that. So you start off kind of like with the demographics, and then who lives in that area. If we're talking about your state, you're going to sell in your state. What are the neighborhoods like? What's the education like in the surrounding areas that you want to sell in? All of that is just data that you collect. Maybe it's important, maybe it's not, but you bring in all the data and then you start building your ideal audience. And it doesn't have to be every single person, because it's going to be all types of people that you want to sell to. But who is that kind of like one or a few couple targets that you want to focus in on? Maybe it's the busy mom that wants to pick up baked goods for, the soccer team. And then so you kind of build out a whole profile of like who that person is. Where can you find them online if you're doing social digital marketing? Where would that busy mom, would she be on Instagram, Pinterest boards? You kind of just start building from there based on the information you do know about your company. And so that's kind of the thing where you do want to get really solid on as a business owner, being very clear about what your product is, what the price point is, the foundations that you as a entrepreneur will only know about your business. Because then we take that and put it into the marketing language.
And we do.
Go ahead.
Avery was saying we do help people find that information. Like we are end-to-end marketing. So we have prompts that people can use to tease out some of that information. Because it can feel a bit daunting.
But you're teaching them, you're not doing it for them. That's what's powerful, because they figure it out.
And like Avery said, they need to know. If we're just doing it for you, you really need to commit that to, how you speak about your business.
Okay, young ladies, I got a test for you. And I can call you young ladies because I'm older than all three of you. And I may be older than you combined. But let me... So I want to start a radio show. And so I have a name for it, a name that I've used for 20 years called Positive Talk. And then I had this very conversation with somebody. He said, okay, well, you need to niche down. And I said, niche down how? And you need to pick a subset of the positive talk that you're talking about and pick a particular subset. And I said, okay, the subset is everybody. Okay, how do I niche down from that? And it was kind of like, I can't because it doesn't work. So as we move forward, do you know what the niche became? Positive talk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because there are so few, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of negativity out there, and a lot of podcasts that feed off of that negativity and stuff, and that division and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of a niche unto our own selves because we do something completely different than a lot of other folks that are after, and everybody's after clicks and views and stuff.
Right.
But I keep telling people like Rochelle, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. We put on the best show that we can. We make people laugh. We have a good time. We educate people, and we don't talk about politics or religion because that's kind of.
And again, it's about getting in front of the correct audience. So if you're getting in front of people who want positivity in their life, which I believe that's a lot of people, um, then yes, you are reaching your correct audience.
Yeah, and that
And we
itself is the niche, right? That's why it works.
Right, right.
And it's in the name, positive talk. You know, people
Good
want
job,
their
Kevin.
daily dose of positivity.
Right. It's a niche
Yeah.
because people have to go to it because all of the noise out there and the clickbait is can be pretty negative.
Well, you know, it's interesting because originally the show was called on KKNW in 2003. I named it The Kevin McDonald Show, Positive Talk in the Afternoon. Well, that didn't fit on a business card. And I really didn't care about my name. I was more interested in the content, in having great guests and people like yourselves on the show who could generally educate people and smile and have a good time, and we could laugh a little bit and stuff like that. So it ended up being just Positive Talk Radio. And now,
Maybe they just wanted you to niche down your name. Is that it?
and then when we went to, because one of our major contributors is the Brushwood Media Network, and they're in conjunction with Apple. Well, I have a podcast which is Positive Talk Radio, and we are all over because we've been doing this for a little while longer, all over with Positive Talk Radio. Help me with this, and now they've also then took it and they said no, it needs to be a different name. So now it's Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. So now I have two podcast distribution things of the same content, but they're two different names.
Well, congratulations.
I knew
So
you
you
were going to say that.
So you can look up Positive Talk Radio or Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, and you may think it's a Canadian comic, which he was on. That's another Kevin McDonald, but so it can be any one of those things. And so if I can't change any of that at this point. So, but we're growing, and we do a lot of different stuff now, but it's taken time. It's taken a lot of money too.
And so you bring up a really good point. I think sometimes people want immediate followers or immediate growth. They want to see something within a month with marketing, and marketing does take time. And that's why we have workshops on early and consistent marketing. You have to be consistent. You have to start from the beginning and just really keep to it. And that's when you see the real growth. You see real change.
Have you heard of the expression critical mass?
Mm-hmm.
And give me your definition of what critical mass is. Well, mine is that you will be, and this, a lot of podcasts, there's so many podcasts out there, but a lot of them will go, I'm going to be the next Joe Rogan in 5 months. And their mom listens and their brother listens and a couple of friends and stuff. And nobody wants to give them $100 million to do what they're doing. So they quit. Or they say, oh, no, we can't do that. Or I'm not going to. They told me this would be easy. It's way too hard and stuff. How do you help somebody really to move, whatever the business is, to become an entrepreneur and then to dig into it and then find out that this is way harder than they like? Remember that chocolate chip cookie guy?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you start talking about distribution, now you're talking about backside money, and you're talking about grocery stores and how much you're going to pay them to put your product in their store. Mm-hmm. It's way complicated than the average person knows about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you get them? How do you help them do stuff like that? And
on our end, I think being upfront about the process really helps. So like when Avery was talking about everything, all of the foundational work that we do at the beginning, everything, all of the research that's done, and then I create them a plan of what we want to do with them and how long that's going to take. And a lot of times it starts out with 6 months, if not longer. And some people just want to do it for 3 months. And I'm like, okay, but we know we're not going to see the completion of the plan in 3 months. So I think being upfront, giving people a timeline, this is what we're working on, if not every 2 weeks, every month, to see that growth, and then keeping metrics on if it's working or not. So then if it's not working, it's like, okay, well, what are we changing to then make it work? And if it is working, we can show that it's working. I think that right there is what makes our clients not jump ship, is that we're very upfront about what we want to do, how long it's going to take. And then if something's not working, how we're then going to pivot so that it does work.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you're teaching
and
them to be adaptable.
Mhm.
That's huge. That's what Kevin did with me. And now I'm like, you know what? I don't care where this ship takes us, but we gonna ride it and we're gonna be okay and we will survive because we're gonna learn no matter what. We don't see that as a negative, Oh, well, we gotta shape shift a lot of stuff that we thought was right because we see another perspective, and it doesn't mean it was wrong. It just means it doesn't work. So you gotta adapt to the new idea of your business and also yourself in that change. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I was just going to say that we're going into our final break, and then I'm going to do something that I've never done before, because I've been told I have got to go to the doctor because it's an appointment, and they tell me that you see, there you go. They tell
No,
me
that's good. Most men don't go to the doctor enough.
Mhm.
So
well,
Or tell the truth, but that's a different story.
I'm kind of running out of running out of cancellation options and
okay.
stuff. If you know what I mean. So I'm going to leave. We're going to play this commercial, and then I'm going to turn it over to Rochelle, and she's going to take us home. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, and I have really enjoyed talking to you today.
We
Well, you,
love
you
it.
guys are going to have to come back and play with us some more.
Yes.
We would love
Thank
to.
you.
And thank you so much for having us. This is really great.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a lot of fun, and Rochelle, their website again is.
Website is AC Creative, accreativecollective.com. Go check that out. And Kevin, thank you for making all of this possible and allowing me to complete this and tell the doctor the truth. Just maybe.
The doctor will hear what they want to hear anyway. So I'm not anyway, ladies, thank you so much, and hopefully I'll get to keep my clothes on this time. So have a great day, everybody, and please listen to this. Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use too, always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday.
And welcome back to Positive Talk Radio, everybody. Kevin is going to take care of things that our pets do. We love him for being here and providing this service. Thank you so much, Amoura and Avery, for your time and showing up here. Ladies, I'm so inspired by you. I myself have so much to learn from you and so many others that I know. And as we've been doing the show, before we close out and give everybody your information, I'm going to let you choose this question here. Maybe something that was more of a negative, maybe something that was more of a positive, but something very impactful that happened between the two of you when you worked together that changed everything and maybe created a different dynamic of understanding how exactly you wanted this to be. Your learning curve, I should say.
So for me, she's definitely made me a better leader. I think when we first started working together, I was, I'm the oldest sister, and I've always been the oldest. I've always been the oldest.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
used to being in charge. So you had to learn how to talk to her like, an employee, a partner, a co-owner. And, you're always there I always came to the conversation with respect, but it's like, no, actual listening, like active listening, understanding what she's saying. And there were a few conversations where I don't think I was listening very well.
Yeah.
And she told me, I had to sit with it and be like, I wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
And I think from that, I was able to learn more about, how I'm listening to her, but other people, and definitely made me a better leader.
And
Yeah.
I think,
I mean, constructive criticism, right?
yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
And go
I
ahead, Avery.
definitely learned a lot about like taking risk, taking strategic risk, trusting your intuition, and just going for it. I definitely wouldn't be an entrepreneur by myself. So like being able to partner with my sister and kind of like get some bravery from having someone who I know so well and I trust has really like opened my eyes up to how much I can push myself creatively and in business and my goals. So it's sky's the limit. Really.
Yeah. Well, it's real that fear is there because we're human. I mean,
Mhm.
isn't that what keeps us alive in the first place? You know? But
So
sometimes
true.
we're grown up, as Kevin says, we're built and we're grown up, and all these things that are going through our head, all these fears, they're not really ours. There's things that we've been told, there's things that we've taken on that we chose to believe in ourselves. Do you have moments with people where you're like, hey, just don't be afraid? Of course, I hate that people are like, well, you don't have anything to lose. Oh, well, honey, hop in my shoes. You know, like I got a lot to lose.
Mhm.
But also the fear within, you're not going to lose anything. You're not going to die. This could be the best thing you ever did for yourself. How do you kind of help them break past those little shifts? And did you do it with each other?
Mhm. I think it's the strongest or like the hardest pivot or mentally to stop thinking about things as being failures
Mhm.
and just seeing it as a pivot, a learning experience. I mean, I still struggle with that. Like, oh, this was the plan, and now we're like completely doing something different, but seeing that as a growing opportunity. So you're never failing, you know.
That's true.
Never
Just learning,
failing, always
right? That's
learning.
the whole
Yep.
point.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't learn, then you don't know. If you don't go through these things, you
Mhm.
don't have the same perspective. You don't have the same understanding. So you're kind of almost blind to the things you're going through. And before we start talking about all the ways to connect with you and everything you guys are doing, what has been one thing that both of you got to experience with somebody where you saw that they saw themselves and what they were capable of, that you helped them be able to see for once?
What were you going to say?
Oh, well, I would say like one of our clients, she's a consultant, and she wanted to actually this year, 2025, was a goal of hers to produce a workshop.
That's what I was going to say.
And we kind of went back and forth whether she was ready, whether she knew all the material, whether she felt like the expert, in the room.
Yeah.
And we launched it, and we saw growth. From the first, she's already had two, cohorts of people doing the workshop, and we saw growth.
Double.
In the second running of her workshop, we're getting ready to plan for the third one. So it's like not only has it launched, but we're growing this network that she's always wanted to have of people who are like-minded, sharing ideas. So that was, I mean, she got her goal done
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I bet that was huge validation for both of you. Like, you know what? We did this for ourselves. We're doing it for each other. And this is why we're helping other people achieve that. That's beautiful. And if you're maybe thinking, hey, you know what they're talking about right now is something I've always wanted to do, but I don't know how that's possible. Please contact Amoura and Avery Carter. They will work with you, they will teach you, and they will be understanding as to maybe that you're a woman and life is a real thing, and help you accommodate how you're going to achieve those goals with your personal life in in contact with that. So go to their website, as I've said 100 times, and I'll say 1,000 more, acreativecollective.com, marketing that delivers measurable growth, and really so much more. It sounds like the people that you guys work with trust you as well. They honor the time that you give them, and they are able to see things in themselves they really didn't think were possible. So I'm going to let you guys share any ways to get in contact with you, ways to find you, and how that all goes. And then any message you'd like to leave us with for this beautiful Monday.
Well, I love that. Well, thank you so much for allowing
Of
us to be on the
course.
show. And I love the last question, because that is really a key feature of our business, is that we build relationship with our clients. Like, we are, figuring out what their goals are for the year, for their life. We're
Yeah.
in our meetings, we're asking them what's going on. It's not very just like rigid and cold. Like, we want to know how your life is and your business, right? Because it's all intertwined, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And so we get very close with a lot of our clients.
As you should.
Yeah, but you can always go to our website, acreativecollective.com. There's a contact page there. You can always email me, Amoura, Amoura, at acreativecollective.com, and shoot me an email with any questions you might have. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can find us and follow us. Again, we are doing consistent marketing for ourselves. Oh, we also have a newsletter, which you can find. We have a LinkedIn newsletter, and we have like a regular newsletter that we send through email.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, I will leave it up to either one of you or both of you to share us a thought or a message. If somebody's listened to the show and they really want to do something more, what would you tell them?
So for me, is to take that strategic risk. And I put strategic in front of it, because I don't want everyone thinking just to risk it all. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yes.
But create that plan, and then work the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, without a plan, what do you have? Avery, would you like to add anything to that? Yeah, no, you're good.
Everything.
Yes. Coco believes in us.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us with the show. As before, go visit their website, acreativecollective.com, and don't be afraid. Maybe just food for thought. Don't be afraid. And yes, you have things to lose, and these women understand that. That's why they're going to help you build yourself and your business at the same time without creating more stress, more problems, and more fears. And I think we all deserve somebody like that. So thank you again so much for your time, for both being here and having each other. I think that is, I'm so jealous. Can I say that?
Thank you for this good conversation.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
please come back at any time. We will send you everything you need. If you didn't catch his full show, listen to the whole thing. I promise it was a ton of fun. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us in. And take care on this Friday. Or, whoa, yeah, that tells you where my mind's at. All right, I'm going a little too fast. Or I'm too far behind. But thank you, everybody, for spending all of this time with us. We appreciate you and we love you. And again, go visit acreativecollective.com. And Amoura and Avery, take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.